It's 9 o'clock. It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. Welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this playoff preview edition of Believers Talk, where we're going to talk about the game this Saturday at 4:35 between our Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. Again, guys, thank you for joining me. My name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know on the right hand side or left hand side. I don't even know how you're looking at it. Let me know what you guys think of the game coming up this Saturday. Do you think the Bills are going to win this one? I'm going to tell you why I think the Bills have a good shot to win. I'm going to give you some things to look at this weekend, some things to watch both for the Houston Texans and the Buffalo Bills. I'll take all your questions, of course, as we always do, and I'll give you some keys to victory. So again, guys, thank you for joining me. I'm just waiting for you guys to get in here. For some reason, the notifications taking some time. I don't know why they take some time, but I'm excited to be here on Thursday like I always am. Guys, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We go live every Thursday during the season, either halftime of Thursday Night Football or when Thursday Night Football is no longer. We go live at 9 o'clock, so make sure you're joining me for that. I appreciate you guys coming in and joining me. Give me 1 second here as I try to figure out what is going on. I never know what's going on around here. Anthony comes in here and says, hey, how you doing? Hey, Anthony, welcome to Believers Talk. And just letting you guys get in here. Again, I was waiting for my notifications to start showing up, so I knew that you guys would be in here ready to preview this game between the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. And I know we're all excited, right? We're all excited about this game. I'm excited about this game. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Let people know we are here. I did put it on Twitter as well to let people know, hey, we're here to preview this game. We're live, and I want people to join the conversation. Again, this is a channel where I definitely want fan interaction. I appreciate the fan interaction. So go ahead, and if you're on here, go leave a chat. Let me know how you're doing tonight. Less than 48 hours before game time. Big week for Bills football. Absolutely big week for Bills football. Big week for Buffalo sports. If you just saw earlier today, Sabres making 2 trades. I won't be doing a video on those, but again, I'm kind of getting sick and tired of the Buffalo Sabres trading for picks. It seems like we're always revamping, getting ready to make a push of some sort, and it just never works out. So hopefully it works out soon for the Sabres, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about our Buffalo Bills. Again, the Bills go up against the Texans. Texans currently 2.5-point favorites. And guys, if you watched my video yesterday, I did a prediction video predicting all of wildcard weekend, including this game between the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. So if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check that out after we're done here. But guys, this is, as I joked with my wife before I got here, this is the biggest game of the decade so far. It's going to be the first game of the 2020 year. And guys, again, Happy New Year. If you guys haven't been following me, Happy New Year to all of you out there. I hope you guys had a safe and happy New Year. I had a great time staying up to like 9:30, right? When you have young kids, you don't get to be as energetic as you once were. You make it with the kid, and then you put them to bed, and you say, yeah, I don't need to see anything else. So, but we had a great time while we were out, so I appreciate it, and I hope you guys also had a good time as well. But let's get into this game between our Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans, guys. I have some stats that I'm going to share with you, some key numbers to watch in this game, and some keys to victory for our Buffalo Bills. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is scoring offense. Buffalo has the worst scoring offense out of any team in the playoffs, right? So Buffalo Bills scoring offense is ranked 23rd in the NFL, only getting 19.6 points per game. Of course, that's aided by this past Sunday when we didn't play any of our starters and only scored 6 points, right? But still, we know that we've had trouble scoring all season long. If you look at the Houston Texans side of the ball, they're ranked 14th this season, 23.6 points per game. Not that great, but still better than the Bills. Obviously, middle of the road, and I think they would like to see their offense do a little bit better. If you look at their offensive production, obviously the offense for this Houston Texans team is the strong suit, right? The offense by yards per game is ranked 7th in the NFL. You're talking about, hold on a second, 13th in the NFL, 362 yards per game. They're 7th in red zone scoring with 64% of their scoring drives that go into the red zone ending in touchdowns. So those are some key numbers there. If you look at the Buffalo Bills, we're actually 17th in the league in red zone scoring, red zone touchdown scored 56.82%. Remember at the beginning of the season, that was kind of like our bread and butter. We were all high on this team. When they got in the red zone, they seemed to score on a pretty high clip. That number has definitely fallen down quite a few notches as we're now 17th in the league. The good news is Steven Hauschka has looked a little bit more confident in his role, going 2 for 2 last week against the Jets in what many would call crummy weather. So we'll see what happens. Paul Berg comes in here. Cole and Knox going to have a big game. They have no one to cover them. I think that Cole Beasley might have a big game. If you look at this Houston Texans defense, very susceptible in the middle. But if you look at the run defense, and we'll talk about more with our run game, that's where I think we can do a lot of damage. Again, guys, if you're just joining, just tune in, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like this video. We're going to be talking for a little bit here, talking about this Buffalo Bills playoff game. I hope everyone's excited. I am excited to see the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. Again, I know it's the second time in 3 seasons, but this time it just feels different, right? Last time we were just happy to be there. This time we want to make some noise. We want to make a little difference in the playoffs, make teams around the league, make this league finally respect the Buffalo Bills again. Let them know that we're a dangerous team, not just this year, because I believe we're a dangerous team this year that might even go further than the wild card round. But we're going to be a dangerous team for years to come. I mean, if you look at this team's, out of all the playoff teams, I saw this on Twitter, out of all the playoff teams in the NFL playoffs this season, the Buffalo Bills have the most cap room. Now, I know we have to re-sign a lot of key players, but just that figure alone should give you reason to be excited for the Buffalo Bills. Also, if you look at, we have the most draft picks out of all the teams in the NFL playoffs with 10 coming up. So again, reasons to be excited if you are a Bills fan. I know we want to look at Saturday and say, oh man, I'm so excited. I'm excited about Saturday's playoff game. But we also need to look at the future and say this is part of the process. Again, I've been saying this all season. We are ahead of schedule as far as where we want to be at the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season, I said if we finish above 500, it would definitely be a good start for the rebuilding or for the process, right? Or a good second season with the process. But here we are 10-6. It's better than it once was. And you look at this team, week 16 against the New England Patriots, if we could have won that game, we were right there for the division, right? Not saying the Dolphins game would turn out the same way. We definitely could have beat that Jets team if we played our starters, a team that beat us by 7 points with our backups in. But still, we could have been right there in that conversation for that AFC East title, making the Patriots sweat it out a little bit. This is the first time in a while the Patriots had to sweat it out. This is the first time in 10 years. We're going to see the Patriots on Wild Card Weekend as well. Some other people come in, attack the middle for sure, says Austin Church. Paul Burke, whoever goes against Watt, hit him in the chest right off the bat. Slap his boob, says Jack Patrick. Jack Patrick, welcome to Believers Talk. J.J. Watt will be playing in this game. He is activated. But you have to ask yourself, after missing 8 games, how much in football shape will he be? You talk about a torn pec, and those are hard to come back from, even if you give it a season or 2 to heal. J.J. Watt coming back from it this season. And listen, I have nothing. I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. I have nothing but respect for J.J. Watt. Not just for what he does on the field, but for what he does off the field. You talk about a few seasons ago, winning Walter Payton Man of the Year for his hurricane relief help back when a hurricane hit Houston. And he deserves every bit of that because he definitely shows that he is a good, not just a good football player, but good person, right? As far as what we see, he shows that he is a good person every single day. You have to respect that, right? You have to respect players that do more than just the on the field stuff, and they use their influence to affect change in a good way, in a positive way. And J.J. Watt has definitely done that. So I have nothing but respect for J.J. Watt, and coming back from such a big injury on a short time period, that just proves how great he is. Definitely at one point, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, right? He's going to be a Hall of Famer when his career comes to an end. Hopefully that's not soon, but it's definitely going to happen as he continues to get injured. The injuries are beginning to pile up for J.J. Watt. Not sure, again, though, how worried I am about how much he's going to play in this game after missing 8 games. He might see 20 to 30 snaps in this game, which is enough to make an influence, enough to make an impact, but I just wonder how much football shape he's actually in opinion. But if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be J.J. Watt, right? I'm not going to doubt his toughness. I'm not going to doubt his ability. So, yes, if J.J. Watt's in the game, you have to account for him. That's one guy you have to account for. Now, you talk about this Houston Texans defense, and we'll talk about more as this video goes on. Not one of the better defenses in the league. In fact, one of the worst currently in the NFL playoffs. But now that J.J. Watt's back, definitely adds a different element. In 8 games, he had 4 sacks for the Houston Texans. So you want to make sure you always account for a guy like J.J. Watt. So we're going to talk about the offense for both these teams first. Then we'll obviously talk about the defense. The good news about this game is whenever the Houston Texans offense is on the field and our defense is on the field, definitely going to be a strength versus strength matchup, right? Our Buffalo Bills defense currently 4th against the pass. That's right. Unfortunately, the Steelers passed us this past week by only allowing, I think they allowed less than 100 total passing yards to the Baltimore Ravens. We allowed close to 200 to the New Jersey Jets, and so the Pittsburgh Steelers passed us for 3rd in passing, but we're now 4th in passing yards, still 3rd in total defense. Always defer, said Paul Berg. When it comes to the coin toss, I agree with you. I'm always a defer type guy. Jack Patrick says, do we win the toss and defer? I'm always a defer type guy because of the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots always have me scared. We've seen the New England Patriots time and time again score right before the end of the half, get the ball back, and then score again. Again, I don't like the idea of having a 14-point swing without my team touching the ball. I just don't like that. I want to see my team get a chance to get the ball after the opposing team scored and make sure that we can do something, make sure we can answer back. Even if it's just a field goal, at least then you're putting points on the board. So that's what I want to see, but I agree with Paul Berg. I'm always going to defer. So let's talk about these teams' offenses. Again, we talked about the scoring offense. The Buffalo Bills have the worst scoring offense currently in the playoffs. That's going to have to change, guys, if we think we have a chance to win this game. We're going to have to score more than 19 points. I know that this Bills defense can make a difference in this game, make impact. I plan on them doing that, but we can't continue to rely on this defense. And we're going to talk about a stat that's very important to me when it comes to the Houston Texans defense in one of my keys to victory when we talk about that later. You talk about rushing the ball. The Houston Texans are 9th in rushing the ball on offense, averaging 125.6 yards per carry. Carlos Hyde, their leading rushing running back, getting over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. Jack Patrick comes in and says, honestly, Joe, if we lose and the season ends, I'm staying away from anything Bills related until the draft. I think people will be a little panicky, sky falling if we lose this game. Guys, we do want to make an impact, right? Again, 2 years ago, we had that feeling of nostalgia because we made, you like that word, Jack Patrick? I'm learning how to use words and like pronounce them almost correctly, so I thought you might like that. But that nostalgia feeling of, okay, we made the playoffs, so we feel good about that. Now, it's always nice to make the playoffs. It means you're one of the top 6 teams in your conference, and the Buffalo Bills are one of the top 6 teams in their conference, and so it's good to see that. It's good to see us getting the recognition that we deserve. But at the same time, we lose this playoff game, we're still, in my estimation, ahead of schedule. Again, would love to win this game. If you were to give me the AFC playoff teams right now and give me the list of the other 5 teams and say which team would you want to play first, I would circle the Houston Texans. This is the team I want to play. I don't want to play the Tennessee Titans right now. They're a little hot. Yet Derrick Henry in there. Derrick Henry can add some elements to the rushing attack that the Buffalo Bills might not be prepared for. I know we beat Tennessee a few weeks into the season, week 5, I believe it was, in the season. But you have to remember that was the Tennessee Titans with Marcus Mariota, not with Ryan Tannehill. Since Ryan Tannehill has taken over for the Tennessee Titans, their offense has been unreal. Their scoring offense, I believe, is 2nd in the league since Ryan Tannehill took over, only behind the Baltimore Ravens. So you do have to take that into account when talking about who we want to play in the playoffs. Like I said, right now, if you gave me the other 5 teams in the AFC playoff picture, I would circle the Houston Texans and say that's the team I want to play. Jack Patrick, I've never spent so much time on a single season of any team, any sport. So Bills better circle the dang wagons. I would love to see that. We would all love to see the Bills win and move on to probably play the Baltimore Ravens, who, again, I'm going to say this, guys, the Bills can beat the Baltimore Ravens if we end up playing them again. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's talk more about the Houston Texans coming up this Saturday. Again, guys, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like this video. And remember, this Saturday, the Bills game will be live streamed right here on YouTube. My friends over at #sports, Mario and Paul, they'll be live streaming the game for you. I have their link in the description below, so make sure you check them out both here on YouTube and on Sportscaster. So make sure you're checking them out. If you don't want to hear the ESPN, Booger McFarland, or whoever might be doing the game, I don't blame you. Go over to #sports. Mario and Paul do a great job. So again, we're talking about this these two teams' offenses. If you look at the Buffalo Bills rushing attack, one ranking ahead of the Houston Texans. The Texans were 9th in the league. The Buffalo Bills 8th, averaging 128.4 yards per game on the ground. If you look at Devin Singletary alone is averaging 5.1 yards per carry. Of course, we always have that dual threat with Josh Allen. And we'll talk a little bit more about Josh Allen because I think that's one of my keys to victory, Josh Allen's legs. And I'll tell you why when we get there. But I think Josh Allen might have a huge impact on this game, not just with his arm, but with his legs as well. You go over to the passing attack. Houston ranks 15th in passing. Obviously, whenever anyone thinks of the Houston Texans currently, they think of Deshaun Watson and what he can do as a quarterback. And then, of course, you think about Hopkins as well as their top young wide receiver. Is a stud, over 100 catches this season, and that is a down year for him. He's had a great year. Obviously, we know that Johnson's going to be on Tre'Davious White. We all saw the trash that Johnson put on Twitter shortly after the new year, him catching a ball, a touchdown pass last season against Tre'Davious White when the Bills played the Houston Texans in Houston last season. Now we need to step up, right? He wants to give us that billboard material. We'll take it. Tre'Davious White still is not allowed a touchdown to a wide receiver this season. I expect that to stay the same this Saturday, and I think it has to in order for the Buffalo Bills to have a chance to win this game. Welcome, Kenneth Osborne. Welcome to the stream. Only player I'm worried about is Watt. He's a beast. We will have to double him. I'm going to tell you about a couple other players they have to be worried about, so just give me a second here. And then the Buffalo Bills passing, we know the Buffalo Bills don't have a strong pass attack. Currently 26th in the league with 201.8 yards per game. The only playoff team we're ahead of when it comes to passing yards per game, the Baltimore Ravens. The high-powered Baltimore Ravens only average 201.6 passing yards per game. 27th in the NFL. We're 26th, just a little bit ahead of them. Go over to that defensive side of the ball, and this is where the Bills take over. Before I do that, Jack Patrick comes in. If our offense scores on first drive, that will be the confidence booster we need. Who knows? Maybe Josh goes over 300. Who cares as long as we get the win? That's all that matters is winning. That's all that matters is winning. And speaking of confidence, I do want to talk about that confidence factor a little bit. One thing I remember from week 16 is that John Brown made Stephon Gilmore on that 53-yard touchdown pass look really bad. Really bad 56-yard touchdown pass, but he turned Stephon Gilmore around, and up until that point, that was the only touchdown pass that Stephon Gilmore had allowed this season. You want to talk about confidence boost heading into the playoffs, because remember, John Brown didn't play last week. Talk about beating the #1, according to the All-Pro team, the #1 corner in the NFL, and scoring a touchdown like that. I know this Bills offense, passing offense, hasn't always been the greatest, but we're 18th in the league in passes over 20 yards in the NFL. So, and that's where the Houston Texans passing defense really struggles, is on those long balls. So we need to be able to complete some of those long balls down the field. I think if we do that, obviously we give ourselves a great chance to win this game. Ben Johnson comes in. What's going on, Joe? I'm excited about Saturday. I hope we're all excited about Saturday, guys. 4:35 again on ESPN, or check it on YouTube and Sportscaster. Paul and Mara from #sports will have you covered. Paul Berg comes in. If Allen can get in a rhythm, we will be good. When he gets a rhythm, he's on fire. Gilmore got beat up last week against the Finns as well. Yeah, he did. He really did. But up until week 16, he did not allow a single touchdown. Then John Brown comes in, and John Brown scores that long touchdown against him. I really think that not only helps his confidence, that helps Josh Allen's confidence in John Brown. I know that John Brown's been Josh Allen's #1 target all season, but when you know even against the #1 one corner in the league. He can go up and get it. He can do his job. He can do it better than the number one corner in the league. That gives you confidence that no matter what the situation, you can try to throw it up to John Brown and see if he can make a play. So not only does this boost John Brown's confidence, I think this also boosts Josh Allen's confidence in John Brown. I think that's a huge factor going into this game. Another thing about confidence that I talked about yesterday in my prediction video is Trent Murphy, the game that he had against the Jets. Now, I know he played a lot more snaps than he's used to, but he had a great game against the Jets. 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss. I feel like he was pressuring Sam Darnold all day. I feel like he did a really good job. I think that is going to boost his morale, give him a good momentum boost going into this game as well. Sure, we didn't win the game, but there's definitely a lot of individual battles you can take away from that Jets game that are going to give these players a lot of confidence. John Brown, 7 receptions, 138 yards, and a touchdown. That's what Jack Patrick is calling for. Let me know what your predictions are. Give me some of your bold predictions in the chat as this goes by. We're going to talk about these two teams defensively. Again, when the Houston Texans offense is on the field, it's going to be strength versus strength. Their offense versus our defense. Because if you look at the Texans defense, not that good. The Texans defense ranked 19th in scoring defense, allowing 24.1 points a game. We all know where the Bills rank. The Bills are second, allowing less than 17 points a game. In fact, until last week when our second stringers were in there, if the Buffalo Bills defense allowed 17 points or less, we win the game. That was the stat. If we allowed 17 points or less, except for last week against the Jets, we win the game. Guys, the Buffalo Bills have only allowed more than 24 points scored against us this season one time, and that was against the Eagles. So if we can keep this Houston Texans team under 17 points, chances are we're going to win that game. Again, guys, thank you for joining me on Billievers Talk. Hit that like button and go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for continual Buffalo Bills news, especially when it comes to this offseason, guys. I have you covered for the draft. I have you covered when it comes to free agency. I have you covered when the schedule comes out. All breaking news right here on Billievers Talk. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and like I said, if you're watching, leave a comment. Let me know what your bold predictions are. Prop bets, Allen over under 34 rushing yard. Take the over. It's a lock. Do you know why it's a lock? And I'll tell you why it's a lock, Paul Berg. This is going to be my first key to victory that I'm telling you right now. That's Josh Allen running the ball. This Houston Texans defense, I have it written down. I know it's in the 20s. I believe it's 29th. The Houston Texans defense is 26th in allowing quarterback rushing yards, right? And you look at Josh Allen. What does Josh Allen do well? He runs the ball, especially in the red zone. You're talking about 9 rushing touchdowns this season. That beat out everybody, including Lamar Jackson. So 9 rushing touchdowns this season. The Houston Texans defense against quarterbacks running the ball is 26th. They allow the 26th most yards to quarterbacks rushing the ball. So that's a stat you have to look at. If the prop bet's 34, Paul Berg, you definitely take the over there. And that's my first key to victory is Josh Allen being able to run the ball, use his legs, use his mobility, and be able to create some openings, even if he doesn't rush for a lot of yards, to roll out of the pocket. Remember that game against the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving? Remember the first play from scrimmage where he rolled? Oh, the Steelers game. I'm sorry, it was the Steelers game. The game that clinched the playoff spot for us. Remember that play, the first play from offense, he rolls to the right and he finds Knox and he threads the needle. Those are the plays we need from him. I mean, he did that a couple times this season, especially rolling to the right. Does a great job. Now, again, someone's going to have to count for J.J. Watt on that side, but as long as he's accounted for and Josh Allen can roll to the right, I like our chances here. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? Welcome to Believers Talk. Josh is going to rush for a TD and 2 in the air. If Josh Allen gets 3 TDs in this game, like I said, we're going to win the game. The Buffalo Bills defense has not allowed over 24 points more than only one time this season. And again, whenever the Bills defense holds the other team to 17 points or less, when our starters are in there, we're undefeated. So we'll take that every single time. Total defense, the Houston Texans ranked 28th in the league, allowing 388.3 yards per game. The Buffalo Bills total defense is 3rd, only allowing 298.2 yards per game. We're one of 3 teams that holds teams to under 300 yards of offense. Just think about that in the league today that we are playing in. The Buffalo Bills hold teams to under 300 yards of total offense, and that includes 10th against the rush. Remember at the beginning of the season, I was talking about how bad we are against the run. Well, we seem to tidy it up quite a bit. towards the second half of the season, we're now 10th in the league against the run, allowing 103.1 yards per game. The Houston Texans, on the other hand, 25th against the run. 25th against the run, allowing 121.1 yards per carry. Again, talking about Devin Singletary averaging 5.1 yards per carry. He needs to get the rock, right? You look at Devin Singletary and you say he needs to get the rock. We need to get him open in space, and we need to be able to just continue to feed him the ball. Again, talking for Devin Singletary, somewhere between 15, 20, maybe even 22 carries in this game to give him a chance to break a few open. I expect to see this to be a rookie, a breakout game for Devin Singletary. I think that a lot of people have been impressed with Devin Singletary. I think this is a chance for him to really shine on a national stage in a dome against a good playoff-worthy Houston Texans team. If we can control the clock, that really helps us out. Again, we know that the Houston Texans offense is their strength. So how do you stop the Houston Texans offense? Well, it helps that we have the third-ranked defense, absolutely. But if you keep them off the field, then they have no chance of beating you. They have no chance to beat you if you keep them off the field. And my second key to victory is going to be the third down efficiency for the Buffalo Bills. Guys, the Houston Texans defense, 31st on third down efficiency, on third downs converted against them. They are 31st in the league. That means we have to convert our third downs, guys. This can't be like last week. This can't be like this whole season has seemed to be, where we're averaging about 25 to 30% on third down conversions. We're playing a team that's 31st in the league on defense and allowing first downs on third downs. We need to take advantage of that. Give yourselves a lot of third and shorts and be able to convert those third downs into first downs. Keep our offense on the field. Keep our defense resting on the sideline. Keep their offense off the field. It's a win, 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 win. You need to be able to do that. The second key to victory is conversions on third down. This Bills team needs to be up close to 40% in this game. I said that, 40% in this game. There's no reason why they shouldn't be. We should have a lot of third and shorts, a lot of third and ones, third and twos, and be able to convert them either in the air by Josh Allen's legs or by Devin Singletary's legs. Heck, we still have that tank in Frank Gore. We still have Frank the Tank watching on the sideline as well, and he can get us a couple yards if we need them on a crucial third down as well. So make sure you remember that as well. Ben Johnson comes in. I got stuffed dinosaur for Christmas. I named him Devin. I'm 41 years old. Hey, it works, man. Whatever works. I'm very excited about this game, and if that's what helps Devin Singletary finally break out, knowing that he has a dinosaur named after him, hey, I'm all for it, man. Eat up the clock, says Daniel. Absolutely, guys. When we win time possession, we're more likely going to win the game. Again, we talked about that New England Patriots game, the last game that the Buffalo Bills starters played. The Patriots held the ball for nearly 40 minutes. That's nearly 2/3 of the game. I don't care how good your defense is, they're going to get tired. If Tom Brady's not under pressure, if you keep giving him time, he's going to cut you up. It doesn't matter who his wide receivers are, and that's what he did. We need to get pressure on Deshaun Watson. We need to get sacks on Deshaun Watson. I was watching Bills Mafia as he did his pregame just earlier today, and a stat that he put out there, really great stat, is Deshaun Watson's record when he gets sacked 5 or more times. I think he said he doesn't have a win. That's something that the Bills need to look at. That's something the Bills need to control this game with, is getting pressure on Deshaun Watson. Jordan Phillips needs to eat. Again, I just talked about Trent Murphy, the game he had week 17 against the New Jersey Jets. Hopefully got his momentum going. Hopefully got his confidence built for this game. Talk about Shaq Lawson, who's listed as questionable today, but was practicing as well, so I think he'll be good to go come Saturday. But that's the biggest injury concern for me. If you look at the injury concerns, the injuries right now are Andre Roberts, Shaq Lawson, Levi Wallace, and I forget who the other one was off the top of my head. Someone was going to let me know in the comment section, but there were 4 injuries, all limited in practice today, all listed as questionable for Saturday's game. I like Shaq Lawson's chances. Another key is Levi Wallace, and the reason I say that is because we know that Johnson's going to be shut down, right? We know that. Not Johnson, I'm sorry. Hopkins, DeAndre Hopkins is going to be shut down. What we need to make sure is that Will Fuller is shut down on the other side. Now, I know Will Fuller might not be at 100%, but he's someone that you can't lose track of if he's playing in this game. Another guy that you can't lose track of if you are the Buffalo Bills, and that's the Houston Texans tight end, talking about Darren Fells. Darren Fells has scored 7 touchdowns. Ty Nsekhe, thank you, Daniel. Yeah, Ty Nsekhe is the other questionable guy after he got hurt as well. Not too concerned about him because I know Cody Ford can hold his own. But I do want to talk about Darren Fells for a second. Darren Fells, tight end for the Houston Texans, 7 touchdowns this season, and the Houston Texans are 5-0 in games where he has scored a touchdown. So that's someone that we need to be accounting for. Now, the good news is for the Buffalo Bills rank second in yards allowed to tight ends this season. So the Buffalo Bills defense really good at suffocating the team's tight ends normally. Now, remember that Baltimore game, we had that missed assignment against the Baltimore Ravens tight ends. We can't have that happen in this game. We cannot let Fells get going on offense, if you will. We cannot give Deshaun Watson a chance to have like an emergency blanket to throw the ball to if he gets into trouble. And speaking of a blanket to throw the ball to, I know how good this Buffalo Bills defense is. We all know how good this Buffalo Bills defense is. But one thing they're definitely not good at is defending the screen, right? Passes to the running back out of the backfield against opposing teams. We're 18th in the league stopping the running back on these screen plays. I mentioned earlier Carlos Hyde and how he's got over 1,000 yards this season. I'm not worried about Carlos Hyde. In fact, my third key to victory is going to be stopping Duke Johnson out of the backfield. Duke Johnson this season has 44 catches on the year for 410 yards and 3 touchdowns. And now that might not sound like a lot, but at the same time, that shows that he can get open out of the backfield and he can create havoc if you're going to let him do so. And again, the Texans 3-0 in the games where he has scored touchdowns. So you want to make sure that you're stopping Duke Johnson. You want to make sure you have someone accounting for Duke every time he's in the game. I'm not worried about Carlos Hyde. I think our top 10 ranked rush defense can take care of Carlos Hyde. I'm not worried about that at all. But I'm worried about Duke Johnson out of the backfield. We need to worry about that. IDK Jor just comes in asking about our injuries. I just talked about those. We have 4 questionable players: Ty Nsekhe, Levi Wallace. You got Shaq Lawson, and then Andre Roberts. I'm not too concerned about Andre Roberts. I think McKenzie can do the job back there if he's asked to. I think Andre Roberts is going to be okay. I think Andre Roberts is going to be on the 47-man roster. But if he's not, definitely opens up a door for Duke Williams. I did a video earlier this week about if Duke Williams should be on the 47-man roster come Wild Card Weekend. Had a pretty good game on Saturday. Had on Sunday 6 catches over 100 yards. Do you think he should be in the game? I'm not sure where I fit on that. I'm not sure how I feel. I don't think he had enough of a presence in Sunday's game against the Jets to say he deserves a spot more than a lot of the other players. Again, I like Foster for his special teams presence. Same thing with Andre Roberts. I like McKenzie for what he gives us on those jet sweeps. And then you're not going to replace Brown and Beasley, of course. So it really gets tricky when you're talking about creating that 47-man active roster for the game this Saturday. But if Andre Roberts isn't 100%, then go with Duke Williams. Go with Duke Williams, put Isaiah McKenzie in that special teams role, and I think we will be just fine. But those are the injuries right now. We have those 4 question players. Now, again, Lorenzo Alexander, Frank Gore, they both got rest days in there this week, but they're fine. It's just those rest days for those veteran players. So I talked about 3 of my keys to victory already. We're talking about Josh Allen running the ball. Again, the Houston Texans ranked 26th in rushing yards allowed to the opposing quarterback. Josh Allen needs to be able to take Duke's going to have a TD. If he's in the game, again, there's no guarantee he's in the game, but Josh Allen needs to be able to create with his legs. The Houston Texans defense, not one of the better defenses when it comes to getting pressure on the quarterback. Again, that could change depending on J.J. Watt's presence in this game, but they haven't been one of the better teams at getting pressure on the quarterback. If you don't get pressure on Josh Allen, just like any other quarterback in the league, he is going to beat you. Again, you talk about this Houston Texans rush defense, 25th against the rush, and you talk about Devin Singletary averaging 5.1 yards per game. Second key to victory: feed Devin Singletary the ball. I saw that in the chat room, guys, and that's how I feel too. You gotta feed Devin Singletary the ball. Another key to victory is 3rd down conversions. The Houston Texans are 31st in the league in giving up first downs on 3rd downs this year in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills need to take advantage of that. We need to make sure our defense is well rested. We need to convert a lot of these 3rd downs. And I said, if the Buffalo Bills are around 40% on 3rd down conversions, in Saturday's game, we're going to win that game. But we've spent too much time this season in that 25 to 30% range, and I'm just not good. That's just not good enough. You need to be at least above 33%. I want to see us close to that 40% number, and then we have a good chance to win this game. David Pelota comes in asking, when do they announce who is active? Just a few hours before kickoff. So Saturday, probably around 2:30, we'll know who's activated for the game against the Houston Texans. Again, guys, if you haven't already heard, join #SportsMartin and Paul. They will be live streaming the game this Saturday as we go up against the Houston Texans. Again, I said this earlier, if you would give me the 5 current AFC playoff teams other than the Buffalo Bills, the Houston Texans are the team I would circle and say that's the team I want right now. I think the Houston Texans this season play a little Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. They go ahead and they beat the New England Patriots, but then they lose to the Denver Broncos. In fact, I looked at our common opponents, right? And the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans have 4 common opponents this season. You talk about the Baltimore Ravens, New England Patriots, who we played twice, the Denver Broncos, and the Tennessee Titans, who they played twice, right? Although that Week 17 game didn't matter. Against the Baltimore Ravens, both teams lost. But listen to this, guys. The Houston Texans lost the Baltimore Ravens 41-7. It wasn't close from opening kickoff. It was pretty bad in that game. Now, that was early in the season, but I still think that's a little embarrassing to go out and lose 41-7. Now, there was some controversy in that game when that game was still 0-0. You had Hopkins go up for a touchdown pass. He was obviously pass interfered with, was not called. One of those egregious pass interference calls missed. It was challenged, still not overturned. So there was a little bit of some shade in that game. But still losing 41-7, you have to come out and show better than that. Like the Buffalo Bills, lost that game. I'm not going to say a loss is not a loss. A loss is a loss. But we lose that game to Baltimore 17-24 in a one-possession game, a game where we had the ball in the fourth quarter with a chance to tie it. You go to the Denver Broncos. The Houston Texans lose to the Denver Broncos in Houston 38-24, and we beat the Denver Broncos in Buffalo 20-3. So if you look at that Broncos team, they gave Houston Texans fits. We beat them pretty soundly when we played them 20-3. So look at those 2 games and as a barometer, and you say, hey, this might be an easy win for the Buffalo Bills. Bruce Roberts comes in and says, just dominate time possession and contain Hopkins. We'll be fine. Well, we know Hopkins is going to be contained. Even last season against Trey White in 2018, I felt like Hopkins was contained pretty well. You're talking about only 60-some yards in the air in that game. He did have that 1 touchdown, but even on that touchdown, Trey White was in perfect position. I really thought they did a good job. So I'm not worried about Hopkins going off in this game. Trey White has not allowed a touchdown to wide receiver yet this season. I don't expect that to change now. I think Trey White saw that billboard material that Hopkins put on his Twitter account before Hopkins was told to bring it down, and White uses that as fuel, and he's going to use that this Saturday and not give Hopkins a chance to breathe. I feel like Trey White's going to do a great job covering. Again, I'm worried about the other side, especially if Levi Wallace can't play, but I think Kevin Johnson, I think Teron Johnson, I think they're all going to do a pretty good job. Plus, we have the 2 of the best safeties in the league, in my opinion, in Hyde and Poyer. I think maybe the best tandem in the league, the most underrated tandem in the league for sure, but you have them backing you up, and I feel like we could do a good job there. Now, both teams play against the New England Patriots. The Houston Texans wanted to beat the Patriots 28-22. Buffalo, of course, losing to the Patriots both times we played them. Week 4, we lose to them 16-10, and then Week 16, we lose to them 24-17. So that's a tough pill to swallow, knowing that Houston is good enough to beat a team like the New England Patriots, who, again, the New England Patriots play a little Jekyll and Hyde as well. They look good one week when they beat the Buffalo Bills. Brady looks like he's back on point, and then they look bad the next week, losing to the Dolphins in a game that mattered to them, in a game where they played all their starters, and now the Patriots forced to play wild card weekend as well. I hope you're looking forward to that game too. I am. I feel like the Titans do have a shot to win that game. I think that one's going to be fun to watch. Who's going to be OC after Dable relieves Kitchens? Well, Kitchens has already been fired. Dable is planned to be interviewed by the Cleveland Browns the day after this game with the Houston Texans. So he will be interviewed by the Cleveland Browns. Hopefully, however, he has to get ready for another Buffalo Bills game that week, and he'll be focused on that. Now, I think that Dable potentially having a head coaching job can help the Buffalo Bills in this game. He's going to show off what he can do a little bit, right? We all know that Dable's been doing a lot better since he's been up in the booth. But that's an interesting point, too. Do you want Dable as your head coach? Because he's going to be on the sideline. And we saw how he did on the sideline. Not really all that great when he's on the sideline. You want Dable up in the booth, but then again, you might have a different offensive coordinator calling plays. And it adds a whole different element to it. But that's not my call. That's something Cleveland Browns have to decide. But I feel like that might help out in this game. I feel like Dable might be wanting to show off a little bit and have some plays that he hasn't used yet this season that he can pull out against the Houston Texans. Again, remember that Thanksgiving game when they pulled out that little trickery when you had John Brown find Devin Singletary wide open. This secondary of the Houston Texans isn't that great, right? So who knows how disciplined they will be if we run some trick plays. They might try to make some plays on defense, might over pursue the ball, and then all of a sudden we find some Buffalo Bills players wide open in the end zone. Yes, Dable interviews with the Browns on Sunday in Buffalo. And again, hopefully by Monday, he's ready to go as we get ready for what looks like the Baltimore Ravens, unless the Tennessee Titans upset the New England Patriots. So we'll see what happens there. And then you look at the fourth common opponent, that's the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Bills did beat the Tennessee Titans 14-7. Again, Duke Williams coming in, scoring that game-winning touchdown. Duke Williams' first game with the Buffalo Bills, 4 catches on 4 targets. And again, I know a lot of people are wondering why Duke Williams hasn't been more active this season. I feel like we saw a little Jekyll and Hyde from Williams on Sunday. Again, some things that annoyed me from him, going short on that third down route, that third down out route, when he should have had the first down. He goes a yard short, gets tackled right away. That's a rookie mistake. You can't do that. You need to go the 6 yards and pick up the first down, move those sticks. Again, always we'll talk about the importance of third down conversion percentage. I think that's one of the most important stats in a game. Of course, you go turnover ratio after that. And guys, that's another thing that's in Buffalo's favor. The Buffalo Bills have a +4 turnover differential. -4, I forget. We've caused 4 more turnovers than we've given up. So and then the Houston Texans are at even. They're at 0. So we're tied for 10th in the league as far as best turnover ratio. And then the Houston Texans are, I believe, at 17th in the league with an even ratio. Shouldn't poke Trey White, says Dalen Gary's. Absolutely not. IDK Jor comes in and says Duke's a good player. He just needs to learn the game more. And that's what I've been saying for a long time. I'm not saying Duke's not a good player. I think I'm very excited to see what Duke can do next season. I really am, as long as he stays with the Buffalo Bills. But I just think he wasn't ready for most of the season. Now that he's ready, it's a little late. Again, you talk about this offense changing so many pieces between last offseason and this offseason. Last thing you want to do right before the playoffs is change another piece for Josh Allen. Remember, last week, even though he had 6 catches on 12 balls thrown his way, he was 0 for 2 when Josh Allen threw him the ball. So if your starting quarterback and your wide receiver are not on the same page, then maybe it's not time yet to bring Duke Williams up when you can't have a guy like Foster in there. And listen, I know Foster hasn't had a good season, but we saw last season that they could hook up. Allen and Foster can really hook up. All it takes is one big play and to see what they can do. And really that's all it takes for a game to change, is one big play, especially a game like this when the Buffalo Bills are or have the 3rd best defense in the NFL. All it takes is one big play, whether that be the Foster, whether that be the Brown, whether that be the Beasley, whether that be the Singletary, doesn't matter. It takes one big play to really change this game. Too long until Saturday, says Jack Patrick. Again, less than 48 hours away, guys. And we'll be talking about who won the game at this hour instead of talking about the Buffalo Bills getting ready. Duke is on a 3-year deal with the Bills. Could have long-term plans. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. Again, guys, if you haven't already hit that thumbs up button, guys, remember to hit that thumbs up button. Really helps out the channel. I really appreciate that. And guys, if you have a comment, I'm not reading it. I'm trying to get to the comments as I scroll by. Hit that super chat button. Everything earned from that super chat goes right back into the channel. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you guys. I hope you all had a happy new year. If you weren't here at the beginning, I had a great new year. So again, thank you guys for joining me as we preview the game between the Houston Texans and our Buffalo Bills. Talked about our 3 keys to victory in this one. 3 keys to victory: Josh Allen beating the Houston Texans with his legs. Again, the Houston Texans 26th against yards allowed against opposing quarterbacks. So Josh Allen really needs to take advantage of that, especially in the red zone. Might see Josh Allen score 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. Who knows what we will see there. Another key is Devin Singletary, 5.1 yards per carry against this porous Houston Texans defense. Need to make sure that we hang on to the ball as well. Remember that last game that we saw Devin Singletary had 2 fumbles in that. No, that was the Steelers game. Had 2 fumbles in that game. He has had 4 fumbles this season, and there's been 2 in 2 games. So we hope that he doesn't have fumble issues in this game and that he'll be all right, because we worry that if he has one, he might have multiple, and we just don't want to see that for the Buffalo Bills. But that's one of my keys to victory. Another key to victory is how the Buffalo Bills do against Darren Fells. Again, Darren Fells, tight end for the Houston Texans, 7 touchdowns this season. Texans are 5-0 when he scores a touchdown. Another key to victory is how well we do against Duke Johnson. Again, the Buffalo Bills defense, their defense against running backs coming out of the backfield, giving up yards against running backs in the passing game, 18th in the league. So not that good. For how good our defense is, we do not do well against screen passes, and we've noted that all season. Well, Duke Johnson's 44 catches this year, over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. And again, the Texans 3-0 in those games where he scored touchdowns. So we need to make sure that we contain Duke Johnson. We need to make sure that we contain Darren Fells. I'm not worried about Hopkins. I'm just not. I know I trust Trey White, right? If we lose this game because Hopkins beats us, I'm not going to look at Trey White and say, man, you're a bum, right? Trey White is our future on that defensive side of the ball. In fact, I expect a contract this offseason. But I will be upset if we let Darren Fells or Duke Johnson beat us. Hopefully we don't see anyone beat us. Hopefully the Buffalo Bills, excuse me guys, rise up this Saturday, play well. Buffalo Bills have played 1 game in a dome this season, and that's in Jerry's World when we beat the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving. And remember, guys, that game wasn't as close as the final score made it appear. The Dallas Cowboys come out and score first, make it 7-0, but then the Buffalo Bills controlled the rest of that game. So again, we're in a dome, we're in Houston. Weather will not be a factor. So Josh Allen, I expect your completion percentage to be in that 65-70% range. And again, guys, the Bills are still undefeated when Josh Allen completes 70 or more percent of his passes. So remember that in this game. I'm not sure if Josh Allen's going to throw for 300 yards. It would be nice, but what's going to be nicer is if we come away with this win. That's all that matters to me. I don't care how we do it, although I think we mentioned how to do it here. Run the rock, right? Control the ball, control the line of scrimmage. Again, the Houston Texans, another one of my keys to victory, 31st in the league in allowing first downs on third downs, right, against them. So 31st worst defense when it comes to allowing third down conversions. So we need to take advantage of that. We need to have Devin Singletary carry the ball, average 5-6 yards per carry. Again, expect Devin Singletary to carry the ball somewhere between 17 and 22 times in this game. You still have Josh Allen going to run the ball somewhere between 5 and 10 times in this game. You have Frank Gore in there, Frank the Tank. You have that tough third down. Put Frank and Devin in there. Make them guess who's getting the ball, and then open up some lanes for whoever gets it. You still have Isaiah McKenzie who can run that jet sweep, right? 2 carries last week for 30 yards, got the corner both times, and that was against a tough Jets defense. This is against a defense that statistically is a lot worse than the Jets, so we can use that to our advantage. Again, expect Brian Daboll to show off all of his tricks as he gets ready to interview for a head coaching job with the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. I expect to see a lot of good play calling from Brian Daboll, and that's going to be a huge factor in this game, keeping our offense on the field, keeping their offense off the field, and giving our defense time to rest. Yeah, Osborne comes in and says, we got this. Yeah, there's no reason to think that we don't. Guys, I will be live on Saturday before the game. If you follow hashtag sports, go over there during the game. They will be giving you live play-by-play reaction to every single moment of this game. So if you want to watch it and you want to join the conversation with Bills Mafia. It's always a good time. You can hang out with Mario and Paul from hashtag sports. Hang out in the chat with them. They always enjoy it. I think it's going to be a great time. I hope the Buffalo Bills, I feel confident in this game, guys. I don't know about you. I feel confident in this game. for a lot of reasons. I think this Buffalo Bills team matches up well against this Houston Texans team. And remember, we normally start off a little bit slow on defense, right? Giving up points on the the first possession, but then we seem to tighten it up, right? We seem to make adjustments. So if Houston comes out strong, again, I wouldn't be too concerned. We can't get down 2 to 3 scores, though. This isn't the team that is built to come back and things like that, although I trust Josh Allen. And who knows? Josh Allen, this could be his coming out party, right? We talk about players like Joe Flacco. We talk about players like Eli Manning, who, when they made it to the playoffs, all of a sudden just showed out. And it didn't make any sense, but there are players like that when the season's on the line and when you need to win or you go home, they just do better. They just play better. They just play to a higher level, play to a higher standard, and that could be Josh Allen. We could see something impressive from Josh Allen in this game. Time to get the Bills the first playoff victory since 1995, guys. It's been 1995 since the Bills last won a playoff game. Now the good news is we're going against Bill O'Brien, who is 1-3 in the playoffs with the Houston Texans, guys. I think it's going to be a great matchup. Again, I hope you guys enjoy it. I will be live Saturday to hang out with you guys before the game. I have a lot of fun stuff going on during the game, so I'll have fun. But make sure you check out #sports. Mario and Paul, they do a great job. I appreciate you guys. How old was I in 1995? 9? 9. 9. 9. Yes. 9. Yes, 9. But I'm sure that there are people joining me who might not even been alive in 1995, so I appreciate that. I think Bills defense comes up big, 20-7, says Bruce Robert. King Cam comes in. Hey, I'm sorry you're late, man. Just getting ready to go off. You've been on for about 50 minutes, but glad you could join us, young man. Hey, I can't help when I was born. I mean, I'm the youngest of 5, so I mean, I am a pretty young man, but I hope that streak comes to an end, though. I hope next year I can say that I was in my 30s when the Bills won their last playoff game, and then hopefully even move further, right? I think we can beat the Ravens. I think we can beat the Chiefs. I'm not so sure about that one. I think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC, but I think we can beat them. I think that this Bills team has a chance here to make some noise. Again, make some people turn their heads and say, whoa, this Buffalo Bills team is for real. Again, I think that not only is this team for real, but you look at the salary cap situation, Bills with the most salary cap space heading into next year of all the playoff teams, most draft picks of all the playoff teams. We not only are looking good now, we're looking good for our future. King Cam comes in and says, I wasn't even a thought in 1995. Yeah, like I said, some people. Dan comes in 24-17. Bills win. Jack Patrick 27-14. Let me know your score predictions real quick. Multi Apples comes in and says, what's my prediction for the rest? What are your predictions for the rest of the season? Well, again, I did my prediction video yesterday as far as who I think is going to win Wild Card Weekend. And when we're talking about the Houston Texans game with the Buffalo Bills, you'll have to wait till Saturday. I'll come on here live. I'll talk a little bit more about the game, what we're waiting for, what we're looking forward to. We'll know more about the inactives and the actives for this game. And then I might give you my prediction there. In my prediction video yesterday, I said the Bills are going to win this game. Another thing I like about this game, and most people might not look at it, but if you're a betting man like I am, the Bills started out as 3-point underdogs. The lines moved in the Bills' favor to 2.5-point underdogs, which means people are betting the Bills, right? So I know that most people that doesn't mean much, but that means something. That means something. Again, the Buffalo Bills have been surprising people all season. Why not keep it going now, making history all season? Guys, make sure if you're not following me on Twitter, you follow me on Twitter. I am on Facebook, so you can follow me there as well. I don't know how you guys do on Facebook, because I still don't understand Facebook, so someone's going to have to teach me about Facebook. But go ahead, follow me in the links below. There's links. Let me see. 13-7 says King Cam. Ben Johnson comes in, says we won't lose because of Hopkins. We won't lose at all. Bills 19, Texans 15. I like if it's a low-scoring game, you got to like the Bills in it, right? You got to like the Bills. I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills, obviously, in this one. Not sure about the score yet, though. Not sure about the score. So I'll let you know Saturday what I think the score is going to be before the game starts. Again, guys, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk for this edition, for this pregame edition of Believers Talk, where we preview the playoffs. And it's very exciting. I hope you guys are excited. I'm excited. Tomorrow at work, I am throwing a Buffalo Bills playoff pizza party. So not as good of pizza as in New York, but I'm looking forward to that. We'll probably share some pictures on Twitter, and we'll have a good time. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the Saturday. I hope you are too. Kenneth Osborne says 21-14 Bills win. The common theme is the Bills win. And I think that's what matters most. So again, thank you guys for joining me on this edition of Believers Talk. I hope you guys enjoy the next 36 hours because it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope that if you're going to Houston for the game, you have safe travels, or wherever you're going. I'm sure you have a lot of party plans. Safe travels. Be smart. Don't throw yourselves through tables until we win. And then I will see you all soon. Like I said, I'll probably see you on Saturday. So make sure that if you subscribe, you hit that notification bell as well. The Buffalo Bills get ready to play their second playoff game in 3 seasons. Again, the first game of this decade. The Buffalo Bills are going to be in the most important game of this decade, at least from the start. So we're going to see what happens. I look forward to it. I hope you guys look forward to it as well. Bills and Texans have the first game of the decade. I think they do, King Cam. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, we have the first game of the decade. So for at least a couple hours, it's going to be the most important game, the best football game, no matter what happens, of the decade. And then we'll see what happens in that Titans Patriots game. But again, guys, thank you. I'm late to the party. Yeah, Fintech, you're late, man. I'm getting ready to leave, and everyone's all of a sudden join me. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Just go to the beginning and watch it. We talked about our 3 keys to victory. I won't disappoint you, but there are plenty of keys to victory in this game. Talk about Josh Allen with his legs. Talk about Duke Johnson with his 44 receptions this season. We talked about Darren Fells. We talked about the Texans defense on third down, allowing third down conversions. There's a lot of things that we talked about, so I'm sorry that you missed it. Just go back, and if you're not joining me live, leave a comment. What do you think some of the keys to victory are for this game between the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans? Guys, I look forward to talking to you all soon. Maybe talk to you right before we're getting ready to win a playoff game for the first time since 1995. Again, subscribe if you haven't. Like this video if you haven't. Leave a comment if you haven't. And I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.